What up, guys and girls? Another brand new video coming at you today, and we are back for a bit more league racing action here on F1 2017. This is SRL APAC. We're here for round number 11 here at the Italian Grand Prix. Here's a reminder of the championship standings. You can see New Zealand Ryan has a 4-point lead over Team APAC. We're still down in 12th position on the 15 points there, so we're doing pretty good at the moment. Constructors, Force India have a 125-point lead over Ferrari, and McLaren are sitting 6th there, about 5 points behind Williams, so need to really gain some points there for the next few races here. But you can see just letting both the Ferrari boys through. That was Team APAC first, then Zombie next, so and also Penske as well. But I guess if you, as I also validate my lap time as well, but if you remember back to my AOR video from Singapore, you probably will know that the wheel had a little bit of an issue there, as I run very wide here as we go through the qualifying highlights from Italy. Run wide through turn 1. You're probably aware that my old wheel broke, and I was having it replaced. As that was Penske running wide there through turn 4 and 5. So I had to salvage my old wheel, my Logitech G920, which I absolutely hated back in the good old day. So pretty much go through for possibly the next 3, maybe 4 races at best. It was a bit of a scruffy run there through Ascari, but we come across the line. We set a 1:21.7, I think it is. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't really too bad. I did fill up the car for 2 runs here, but just much better run there through turn 1 there. You see there, the times are really starting to drop already. It was Neon first, then DRC Jared. I think Dominator is in there as well. So Dominator put in a very good time actually, but it's had a little moment there. Probably got too much curb, which just lost the rear end there coming out of turns 4 and 5 anyway. But I continued on with my run anyway. It's close there through turn 7, but it felt okay. But again, it was this run through Ascari was just so much worse compared to the first time around. So I did think about completing the lap, but I thought I might as well just box now and just go on to another set of super soft tyres. Conrad is actually out of qualifying, so I think he's had a crash out at Ascari there. So I mean, like, if I continued on, I'd probably be on pretty much used super soft tyres anyway. So that's something I did not want to risk big time anyway. So yeah, just doing the usual thing. You can probably see there, just through the setup there. I did make a little slight adjustment to the brake pressure a little bit. Wasn't too much. In SRL you can pretty much change your setup whenever you want, really. So unlike other leagues where pretty much Parc Ferme is on anyway. So anyway, it is what it is anyway. But coming out of the pit lane, you'll be able to see just letting Penske just go by there. I think possibly he was on a flyer, so I thought just get out of the road there. I sort of went out a little bit earlier compared to the rest, but just wanted to have a bit of fresh air, as I also let Warden go through as well. But yeah, pretty much just going to stay on board for the rest of this lap here of a lap around Monza anyway. So here we go, running down the front straight here in front of the Tifosi. I'm probably in the wrong car for this anyway, but here we go, coming straight into turn 1 and 2. They're taking it so cautiously through here. It was a much better line there through turns 1 and 2 compared to the first run anyway, when I ran wide. So currently sitting in P9 at the moment, as you can probably tell on the graphic. But now sliding up the next chicane here at turn 4 and 5. Actually went purple through sector 1, well, fastest first sector there, but that was pretty much earlier on. As I did go a little bit quicker. I think it was up, what was I, about 3.5 tenths. So it was really gaining some time anyway. Just starting to getting used to the old wheel big time. So now coming through sector 2, we're nearly 6.5 tenths quicker in on a previous best anyway. So now much better run there through Ascari. Did not run wide at all there. Now coming down this back straight now, sizing up Parabolica. So it breaks so late in the Parabolica. Probably slid it a little bit too much coming into Parabolica. Probably cost me a little bit of time, but taking the shortest run to the line. We cross it and we go into P6. And they're 121.192, which I didn't felt was so bad at all, considering, like I said, this was an old wheel. So after that, I let both the Force India boys go through, as they were pretty much setting up for their second run anyway. So there was plenty of time left anyway, but let's have a look at the replay here. It's on board with Dominator. He's actually going on a second fly here, but he has a moment through the second Lesmo and puts his car into the wall. So that's his qualifying done. So DSC Jared, that was RBR 9707. I think a moment through there. This is Neon Treedome's ghost car being pushed back into the pit lane. But in the end, Dominator did get pole with a, I think it was a 120.1. So, yeah, very impressive lap. You see Tim Amanek fourth. Both Force India boys are 5th and 6th, Ryan and Warden. Finish up in P8, which wasn't too bad. You could probably tell that Rain 96 is starting last. He was trying a bit of a different strategy, just trying to avoid a bit of carnage because he's had not much luck in the recent past in league racing. But getting to the race, now it is a little bit wet, but you would have probably seen on the early part there. You can see that it's just changing the setup there, going from super softs to softs and just upping the fuel a little bit. But you actually see we're actually starting on dry tyres. So this is going to be interesting. So here we go, round 11 of SRL. 5 red lights. Let's do it around Monza. And we're pretty much going to be tippy-toeing all the way down to turn 1. Neon's has actually had a terrible start. Lots of wheel spin. Big time for him. Side by side now with Laggy. Have a big lock up into turn 1. I did not want to take into bend there at all, but a little bit pushed wide there by there's Laggy, and there's Penske as well. That's RBR going through and being swamped here at the start. Exit Donor's gone past as well. Then New Zealand Ryan's not far behind, so he's another one. Possibly got caught up with cars, I'm not really too sure, but coming into the second chicane, I've misjudged my braking marker and had to pretty much use what the right route is going. If you muck up the chicane, I've just lost a bunch of spots now. I'm back down to 14, back behind Conrad, who's on the medium tyres, obviously starting outside the 10 anyway. So, but now I've just got to pretty much regroup myself, as not far away from the battle anyway. So just trying to regroup here. Zombie's dropped back as well. So even though he started behind me, he's also dropped a few spots as well. Coming through a scurry. He runs very wide as into the gravel. And that's an easy spot there for him. For me, sorry. But there's someone else in the wall. I think that's Exit Donor in the Renault. So he's into the wall as well. Now coming close to the end of this lap, there's Mitchie there. Must have had a moment coming out of Parabolica. That's lost him a lot of momentum. So we've gained a couple of spots already. Back after the terrible start. But going to really size up Conrad here. I wasn't actually hoping to get a pass on him, but somehow I managed to do it, and now I'm back up into the points. But there's a little bit of a battle group going on in front there with Pink Penske's part of it. There's Sauber off there. I'm not sure which one it was, but can't really tell which one it was, so we'll probably have some replay cameras to show you. But that's another spot into P9. So if you guys been caught out here in the wet, in these sort of wet, dry conditions, it's sort of like what happened in AOR Britain. It was pretty much, it stayed dry the whole race, but it had the little odd showers or run wide there through a scurry and lose all my momentum to Penske there. So it's not really what I wanted. So now coming into Parabolica, it's really late on the brakes there. And actually Neon's run wide as well, so he's probably followed my dirty air, I'm not sure, but Warden set the fast lap of the race as well, by the way. So, but coming into turn 1, mark up my braking marker. I think it was pretty much using the normal dry braking marker, but in these conditions that didn't really work. So I only copped a warning for corner cutting, but I decided to let Mitchie go through anyway, just to pretty much not do anything silly and just continue on with the race. But coming into this turn 4 chicane again, Mitchie's had a moment over the chicane and just had a little slide there. Thought I would get momentum, but I've just pretty much lost it now. So just trying to regather myself here. And again, I've run very wide here at Parabolica. And I thought at this point, I think DRC Jarrett and then someone else was set to fast lap. So Neon goes by, and I thought at this point, the race, that I just cannot cope with these dry tyres on this dampish track, you would say. It wasn't fully wet, but I thought it would take a little bit of a gamble, unlike the others, and I think I may try going to the intermediate tyres. And so we get a little held up by Laggy. So he may be possibly the Salvo that got caught up back at the turn 4-5, but you see Zombie going past there on the soft tyres. But we come out in about 13th place, and we aren't the only one on the intermediates because Exodona's doing the same thing as us. So we're just having a big break lock up there in turn 1. Just take it so cautiously through the first chicane, yeah. Anyway, so a little bit sideways there, and I think Exodona's actually cut the chicane there at 4 and 5. So, and now just testing out these conditions, getting a little bit sideways there. You're coming into Parabolica there. Got the Exodona right up our rear end, so just lose a bit of oversteer twice. Had to correct myself there coming out of Parabolica. It's probably easy going to give Exodona the motivation there to get back up the inside there. He's back up into 13th, but I wasn't quite done with the battle yet. But you see he runs very wide, actually has to cut the chicane again. But he doesn't give me the spot back. I thought that was a bit rude, but anyway, Dominator's out of this race. So unsure what's happened to him, but back through Ascari. Look how wide Exodona's going through there. That's a terrible run. This is giving me a lot of momentum here to get a move done up at Parabolica. A lot of momentum there. Break early there just to try and see if we can get a good run here on Exodona, but I think he just hangs on for the time being. Let's see what we've got straight line speed wise. As we set our personal best lap time, and it's actually Laggy sets the fast lap of the race. He's on the medium tyres, so there's actually neontreedome coming out of the pits, and he just holds on. I think he's also on dry, so hard to say really whether it was still dry enough for dries, but you see now Exodona again cutting the chicane, but I was getting strategy calls to change back onto the dry tyres, but I was having no bar of that whatsoever. So just continuing on, have a nice bit of oversteer there. You see Laggy's catching us up big time here, so would not be surprised here if he gets the move done. And I actually thought at this point I may as well just roll out of the throttle and let it go here. So as he seems to have a lot more pace on those medium tyres compared to the intermediate tyres, so just try and hopefully get back. Oh, Exodona again's crashed twice. Coming out of Ascari. So his day's just gone from bad to worse now. A little bit of a sideways moment coming out of Parabolica. But yeah, we just hang on to P13. Let's have a look at some replays. So we've got DRC Jarrett, the main screen, Tim Manik on the top right. It was a pretty nice start there from DRC Jarrett. Yes, Dominator, a little bit sideways there off the start, but he locks up big time into turn 1. There goes Ben right around the outside. Dominator had to actually cut the chicane. Just trying to get onto the power is just so difficult for Jarrett there, and Dominator's actually lost the spot, I think, to Warden, but you can see Jarrett putting under a lot of pressure on Ben here as he makes a mistake into the chicane. Has to shortcut it there. Jarrett may actually have a good run here. Squeezed. That could nearly have been a bit awkward there for those two. But, it looks like Ben's, I don't think, quite comfortable. This is only lap 1, yes, I know, but you see Jarrett a lot more speed coming out of two Lesmos there. He covers the inside line, just Ben, but Jarrett's going to go around the outside here. But he breaks early, just Jarrett, because Ben's gone wide here at Ascari, so that explains why he's been off the road. So that's given Jarrett the effective lead of this race. Coming on to lap 2. He goes way deep this time, way deeper compared to the first time around, and actually that's given the lead to Warden. Let's also have another look on board with New Zealand Ryan, because he's right behind neontreedome. We'll have Neon's perspective as well on the top right. It's a nice start. Look at the wheel spin that Neon gets, and oh, that was close. With a bit of contact from, close to a contact with Neon and New Zealand Ryan. So that explains why Ryan dropped all the way back there. That was Dominator going through there. But Neon's pretty much dead last in the pack now. So you can see Ryan just getting swamped right, left and centre here on this early setup and start. He's already 10th at the moment, sitting right behind me. You'll be able to see what goes on here. So I go straight on here. Exit Donor as well. Penske is also there. So Exit Donor is just cutting the big time there, and probably gaining a few spots there. Probably wouldn't be surprised if he gained a position, had to give it back. So he actually, Ryan gets him up into P7 for Ryan. So let's see what happens a bit further on. Probably Ben is off the road there. So he comes on just alongside RBR, and there comes Ryan as well. You have a lot of slipstream here. Will Ryan, as he tries to have a look here, but just can't quite get it done. RBR doing a ripper job. Gives him a little touch. It gives Ben a little touch, I should say. But Ben's really struggling early on in these conditions. Ryan is used to this already, so Ben's covering the inside line. Not too much difference between these two at the moment. Into turn 1 as he just breaks early. There's Ryan, and when Ben went so deep into that corner and managed to just hang off for the time being. Now back on board with Michi's and to position 12, so should be able to see a few cars off the road there. It was that might have been Neon off the road there, but see what happens here. So it's Zombie in the middle there, so Michi just hangs off for the time being over Zombie. These guys are on differing tyre strategies, so let's see what happened here with what Exit Donor. Oh! Now, I don't know whether got caught up on the curve and then just pretty much slammed into Penske, or whether Penske turned into him, but yeah, a bit of a terrible day for him, and rain actually got past Michi as well, so he actually had a little oversteam over there. That goes Conrad. And there comes me, so he just lost a couple of spots there. Did Michi, so get very close to me there. There's a Conrad went very wide through the chicane. There's a little touch between those two. Here comes Neon. Trying to make a comeback here. Exodona's coming for the intermediate tyres. Now let's see what happens here. Neon's got a lot more pace on Conrad here. So going to be interesting right around the outside here into turn 4 and 5. Can he hold it? Just. Conrad gave him a squeeze, probably outbraked himself there, but I think Neon will just get the position now. Michi has a look up the inside. Not quite. Nearly slammed into the wall there. That would have been a little bit awkward. That's now. Oh, Conrad very wide there, and that's easy for Michi. That puts him into P11.
Like I said, whoever's on harder.
Oh, okay. That might explain.
For this first stint of the Grand Prix,
I think basically both the Salbers boys have come together, so that might explain why both of them are off the road. Well, I think that might have been Laggy who was at the big moment there, actually had to come into the pits, but you see Ben now putting a lot of pressure on Dominator, who doesn't quite seem to. Don't know whether he's just not comfortable through the corners or whatnot, but he's got decent straight line speed, yes, but just don't think he's quite comfortable in these wet weather conditions here. Very deep. Look at it, losing the rear end.
looks like he is
big time losing the rear end. Here goes Ben. Going up into Lesmo. Runs very wide, does Dominator, and actually gets the spot. So let's have a look at this. So this is what started it all. So Dominator locked up big time there and actually gave the spot back to Laggy there. Or Laggy got the spot back, I should say. But Laggy actually got a bit of front wing damage, which you couldn't really tell much on the screen. But so Dominator's behind him here. Let's see what happens. Oh, no! I would not have predicted that. So Laggy and Dominator especially, I think he may have outbraked himself there and just pretty much slammed into Laggy. Really had nowhere to go, and oh dear. That's what you should not do in league racing. Hit your teammate especially. So here's Dominator putting a lot of pressure on Ben here for position 4 there. Sorry that the audio and the quality is a bit out of sequence here as he just somehow manages to get through here. But he gets a little tap on the left rear and actually gets put into the wall there. I don't know whether you could say that's Ben's fault, but probably would say it's just a racing incident. But just cuts the chicane here. Cops a warning for his troubles as well. So, and then coming through Ascari, not really turning much. And it's really dropped him down the order. Now here's New Zealand Ryan. Now he's coming in for a different kind of strategy here. So he's going to put on the medium tyres here. So apparently the harder rubber, it sort of suits the this sort of weather. So here's Ben again. So here comes Rain. So he's made up a heap of spots since the start. He started like 16th. He's already up into 4th place. Oh, sideways there for Ben. That's he just hangs on for now. He's pretty much got a fair gap behind. But here comes Neon. Actually, he's got a 5-second stop-go penalty, I think. I'm not sure what happened, whether he got that for cutting the corner. But anyway, that is what it is. But again, into turn 1, lock up. Had to cut the chicane again. It was on lap 7 and actually got a 3-second time penalty there. Which, I mean, I thought it was harsh. I mean, it's not hard enough to have to slow down through there. But again, just going wide at turn 4 and 5 and still getting the strategy change to go turn back on the dry tyres. But still having none of it. As you can see, Rain there just goes into the 130s. As Ben has a bit of a moment coming into the pit lane onto the grass there. So, but now Ben responds to Ryan coming in earlier. So he goes onto the medium tyres and actually comes out behind New Zealand Ryan. As you can see, I think that's him off into the foreground there. So there you can see neontreedome goes into the 129. So yeah, I thought at this point it may be worth trying to change back onto the dry tyres. Just a big lock up there into the pit lane. So, I mean, it was worth a shot anyway. I didn't think the inters were too bad, but you just tell it's just not quite wet enough yet for these inters anyway. So, and the times are really showing that as onto the mediums we go, and away we go. So, we're pretty much dead last anyway, or second last anyway, besides Exodona. But running wide through Parabolica. Still haven't quite sussed out the conditions, especially more the braking markers through here. Look at that, just literally just stopped it there through turns 1 and 2. I could have easily cut the chicane if I had to, but or gone straight ahead, but I decided against it. But here's Mitchie battling with. He goes in 3rd place. Now Warden's got by on those soft tyres. He's got a different strategy as a Warden, which he started those on the mediums, but again, literally sliding through here. I think that possibly was my first warning. I'm not quite sure, if I'm completely honest. So I don't think I got a second warning. I'm not sure, but here's Mitchie again. Bit under attack here from, it's actually Exodona, who's actually a lap car, so I don't know why you'd be fighting, why Exodona would be fighting our lap car. I know he's on fresher rubber, but this is getting ridiculous now. You see DRC Jarrett is, I think, starting to close in here. Look at the straight line speed he's got compared to these two here. So he has to cut across right in front of him, but he locks up big time. It has to cut the chicane. So he's going straight ahead there. This might give Mitchie a bit more momentum, and I think Jarrett just hangs on for now. But this is what it looked like on board with Jarrett. So he set the fastest lap of the race. So he gets by Mitchie on the left. Has to pretty much swing back into the left here to get past Exodona. Probably lost his braking marker there. I'm not really too sure, but only comes a warning for that. And I did think Mitchie was going to go back up the inside there, but in the end, Jarrett just held on for now. But lap 11, on to lap 11 now. Set personal best with a 1:29.429, and again had to cut the chicane here at turns 4 and 5. Didn't cop a warning out of all of that, but just had a little sideways moment through here now. Through turn first Lesmo, getting a little bit oversteery there, so you can just tell I'm still not comfortable in these conditions. But there was a nice corner cut there for Mitchie, but I think this is New Zealand Ryan possibly, or is it Exodona again? I'm not sure. That's still Exodona there, so again, I don't know why Exodona's fighting. This is still early for position. He actually gives him a little shove there, and off the road goes Mitchie. So going to drop up, not really much spots there. Probably Ryan goes through, Rain goes through. But now back on board we go with Ben. So I think this was after Mitchie got punted off by Exodona at Parabolica, but you can just see Mitchie just lets him go there. I think he knows it's just a shot duck compared to the other guys, but I think now that it explains that it was possibly that earlier one was my second warning. I actually go very wide of the Ascari as well. But a couple of 3-second time penalty as well now. So to add on to all my other penalties I've got, but Penske came in at the end of lap 12, so it gains us another position. But Laggy's way up the road now. But big moment, that's RBR, I think, in the Toro Rosso. So another one called out at turn 7. These curves are deadly around here, especially in the wet conditions, but you should be able to see it caught me out as well. Literally, I think it was I was like a bit later on, but I've now joined the no front wing gang, as you can tell. Even with no steering, I just go straight ahead at Ascari, and you're gonna let Penske go through here. Somehow trying to drift doing my best drift work here, nearly like what Richie Stanaway does, but here's Neon having a big lunge here on a zombie. It just gets it done. That's nearly Daniel Ricciardo like. He is in a Red Bull, so I'm not really surprised at all there. But he gets the spot done, so, and gets up into, I think it was like P8 or P7, I can't remember. But anyway, come back into the lane now to change for the front wing. I'm going to go on to the soft tyres now, as New Zealand Ryan actually sets the fastest lap of the race. So you can definitely tell those mediums are definitely working. So I think this also put me a lap down as well. So at this point, I probably didn't really care much, because it's put me nearly dead last. Yeah, actually, it is dead last. I just read the graphic, because Dominator's already out. So that now you see now it's my 4th warning through a turn 4 and 5. At this point, I wasn't really caring. I actually had a purple sector there, which seemed pretty weird. That was my 5th cut as well, so going very wide at Ascari. You can see I'm just trying to warm up these tyres, make sure they've got grip, but I can't remember who that was coming into the lane, but let's see what it's like down here in the turn 1. Just taking the normal dry braking marker. It didn't seem too bad, probably a little bit too slidey into the corner, and yeah, just managed to hold on for the time being. But through turn 7 again, run wide into the gravel. This time not as bad as compared to the other times, but and to lap 16, it's now my 6th warning, and another 3-second time penalty to add to the list as well. So I'm going really well at this stage. So Now this battle's really heating up because we've got New Zealand Ryan on the main screen, DRC Jared in the top right. You see Jared probably not really got comfortable in those soft tyres, and this is Ryan's got plenty of grip on these medium tyres and they can go the distance, so it's going to be quite easy for Ryan up the inside into turn 1. He can stop it. Yes, he does. So that's up into P2. Next up is his teammate who's a bit up the road, who's also on the soft tyres, so I'm not sure whether he would be struggling as well, but here's Mitchie coming in for the soft tyres on lap 16, so he's been on those mediums for a long while. Now in the end of lap 16 today, our personal best of 1:29.388. Wasn't the quickest, I know, but it was something. There's like a 7th cut there. So at this point, I wasn't really worrying at this time. I thought I'd just try and push on, see what I can salvage here. Starting to catch up to an exit donor here, coming through Ascari now. That's actually my 8th warning, so that's coming through here. I lose the rear end, and I'm just really a passenger. And it's a DNF. I mean, this race was just a disaster anyway. I mean, it was okay. I felt like I had good drive pace, but not the wet weather pace. I didn't think you could get wet weather around Italy. But anyway, here's Jared trying to make a comeback here on New Zealand Ryan, but on the inside here, he just gets up there, but I think Ryan will just hang on for the time being, and large sideways. He just cannot get on the power too early there. As you can see, Ben, I think, is just going to get past Penske, who's a lap car. So I think that's probably my first DNF in a very long while. You have to go back probably when I first started league racing. It's a zombie sideways through Ascari and into the wall. His day's going from bad to worse. He's currently in 10th at the moment. He just cannot get the grip at all. I think even he was surprised. He was thinking that something was wrong in the setup because this car did not cope with it compared to his usual Renault in AOR. So they actually got the penalty as well. So it's got a new front wing change coming as well. I think that's super soft tyres. I could be wrong. There's always a little glitch in these Codemasters games. So and now again, he's run wide straight ahead. I think it was like a couple of laps later, copped a 3-second time penalty. So I think he feels quite comfortable, but here's the lead. This was literally on the last lap, and it got so close that it was going to be literally to the line, and I think Water just got there over Ryan. It was literally nothing between those two. Just hangs on for now. So there's a zombie again. Has spun out, coming across the parabolica. Even at this point, we're saying in the party chat, we may as well just reverse to the line. Got a fair gap to exit Donor, who's just coming past Ascari, and in the end, he just reverses his way over the finish line to finish P12, I think it is. So this is on board with Michi. How close he got with exit Donor, and then he's smashed into, I think, possibly one of the smash cars anyway. But this is why. This is just, I think this is Penske just ramming both, I think, one of the Mercedes cars and one of the, and obviously Ben's car. So nice battering ram there. Penske probably wishes he could do that at every race, but there's the podium. So Warden, in a first time in a very long while, he's actually won a league race. So many congrats to him. He probably thoroughly deserved it. So there's literally nothing between him and Ryan in the end. I think it was like, probably had penalties as well. So you know what, in the end, it's a DNF. It's P14. Obviously, Dominator was the other DNF. So that's, yeah, obviously my teammate was not here either. So pretty much a disastrous day for McLaren all round. So I think we've possibly lost a few more points. No, we don't actually. My bad, because Penske finished 11th. So RBR, I think that possibly was his second point or first point. I can't remember in SRL. So It possibly could be his second one. Let's have a look at the driver standings. So Ryan extends his gap to 12 points over Ben, who's going to be missing the next 3 races. We're still in P12. There is a little bit of a glitch with this table, so apologies about that. Yes, it is RBR's first points in SRL. So Constructors, I think it's about a 125-point gap. I'm not sure if it's changed much or not, but yeah, McLaren's still 6th there. Still behind Williams. So yeah, Ben's going to be missing, of course, the next 3 races. So anyway, if you did enjoy it, be sure to give it a big smash on that like button. Comment down below. Oh, as always, subscribe to my channel for plenty more league racing content on F1 2017, plus other video gaming content as well. You can follow... all my social media links will be down in the description. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and my Facebook page. But for the moment, guys and girls, until I think it'll be the Malaysian Grand Prix next, it is goodbye, and I'll see you all next time.